Everybody knows it's time for the
Most indeed. Well, welcome to the All Natural Podcast. Scruff, Box, David.
What up?
How's it going?
So we're gonna follow up our last Mount Rushmore segment with another Mount Rushmore segment. We're thinking action movie stars.
Action movie stars.
So yeah, there's plenty of those to choose from. But I mean,
just
I think
like
it's
your basic
I think it's
action
going to come
movies,
down
what
to
you're
some pretty
talking
simple
about
shit,
here,
if you ask me. I mean,
yeah, the ones that pop into my head immediately are pretty, like a couple of them are no-brainers.
Arnold, right? I mean, Arnold's there.
Yeah.
Action movie star, yeah, Arnold. I would definitely agree with that one.
The other one I thought
We're talking
was,
Terminator. We're talking Predator. We're talking
Sylvester Stallone.
Conan.
Yeah, that was the second one that popped right into my head.
I mean, with
like,
Rambo?
those two right there are the first two. That
I
just
think
like, that,
maybe you're
you
jumping
can't-
ahead here. I don't know about Sylvester Stallone.
Again, that's the one that
I mean, what did he do?
I thought
Well,
was a
okay.
no-brainer.
He's
done a lot of
probably
action
as
movies,
iconic
and
as-
he's done a
as
lot of
Arnold is.
imitated action movies.
Easily.
You got Rocky, you got Rambo, those two alone.
But, yeah.
I mean,
and
that's like
just-
16
that's
films just between the two of them.
Yeah, and his Expendables,
And it's still going. Like, Rocky's still going. We got the Creed movies are going on.
right.
Have you seen that?
No, actually, I haven't.
bad.
It's pretty good. They got the number. They got the
Is he in
second
it?
one.
He's in it, right?
He's in it.
Yeah, playing Rocky.
What's his name from The Wire? Wallace?
And
Wallace?
Wallace is the boxer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's playing Creed's son.
He's
I'm trying to remember his name.
wasn't Zeus.
Michael Jordan?
It was
Is
Michael
I think
B.
it's
Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? What's his name in the movie? It's not Zeus. It's not Apollo. It's was it Zeus? It wasn't Zeus.
Oh, that's
It was,
right. Yeah, he, instead of Apollo, he's got some other
Some other Greek
name that's
god.
like that.
Adonis. It's Adonis.
Yes, Adonis Creed.
It's Adonis Creed.
Adonis Creed.
Yeah. Good movie. I thought I liked it anyway.
The Rocky
Not bad.
movies aren't necessarily the greatest if you take them all together.
All right.
But-
So anyway, we're getting off track here.
They're
So
not,
look,
yeah, they're only slightly action movies anyway.
we have to consider Arnold. We have to consider Sly.
I'd be surprised if either of them didn't make the final list.
About Dolph.
I'd be surprised if he made top 35.
I'm putting Dolph on the.
You're
the
gonna
list.
put Dolph on the list.
Yeah, man. Fucking He-Man.
Dolph. Oh
Yeah,
well,
we're talking-
I mean,
We're talking.
yes.
He-Man,
Hold on. We're talking
you know.
Masters of the Universe. We're talking Universal
Rocky.
Soldier.
Wait, let's see
Universal
how many
Soldier,
you got here.
Rocky
Okay.
5.
Oh, I
Yes.
forgot. Yeah, he's in Universal Soldier. I forgot about that one. Rocky 4.
Or Rocky 4. My bad.
I even Drago.
But
That's what I
You're
meant.
missing a couple.
I meant 4. Punisher.
Okay.
I
I actually
don't
kind of
count
give it up
Punisher.
to the Punisher,
Yeah, fuck
his
Punisher.
version of the
Like,
Punisher.
no,
it's all right.
Fuck that.
But it should have
Masters
been
of the
infinitely
Universe.
better.
Yeah.
As awful as it
Yeah,
was,
that's
was
true.
better
It
than
was still
better than the
I loved
Punisher.
it, man.
Yeah,
I remember
we shared
going
a
to
couple of
Rolla
guys
and watching
that
that movie.
I saw that at the theater.
What
I
about
did
I
too.
Come in
Immensely
Peace?
disappointed because it wasn't actually about He-Man. It was about some whole other bullshit with some dude that
Oh,
looked
no,
like
that-
He-Man.
yeah.
Okay,
what
well,
about
who else we
What
got
the
here? We're
fuck
getting
are you
off track.
talking
What
about?
about
We're getting off track.
I Come in Peace.
Yeah,
Is he
you're
in
a
there?
you're a big Dolph Lundgren fan. All right, we'll move on.
Who do we got on there? Arnold, Sly, Dolph.
We have to consider Bruce Willis.
Oh yes, no. Die Hard,
Far
Die
ahead
Hard by
of
itself.
Dolph.
I mean, come on.
Harrison Ford.
I mean, come on, striking distance.
I wouldn't have considered Harrison Ford. How many action movies has he done? Though?
Yeah, Harrison
I mean, do you
Ford's
count-
really only
count
done
Indiana Jones as
there's a,
action?
there's a
Indiana
different. I
Jones
count
and
that as
Star
an adventure
Wars
movie.
and other,
An
well,
adventure, okay.
That's
hold
like
on.
an adventure.
well, that cuts out Rocky for sure. But aside from that, I'll say that
Rocky's a
there's enough.
sports movie.
There's enough action in the Indiana Jones movies and in the Star Wars movies to say, okay, it's fair to say that's an action.
I'll put Harrison Ford on the list of
But
consideration.
other than those movies, I can't think of any. You
I don't
know?
th- I
mean,
don't
he
see
doesn't
him
do a
making
whole
it,
lot of, you know.
I'm not trying to take any
No,
credit
no,
away
I
from
was just
Harrison
saying.
Ford.
I mean,
Harrison
Well,
Ford's the
Indiana
shit.
Jones.
Harrison
So-
Ford's the shit.
I'm
Who
gonna
else
throw
are we
in,
talking
I'm
about
gonna throw in Chuck Norris because
Well,
he pretty
yes.
much is all action. And
You have to Norris.
is probably,
Missing in action
He's got to be ahead of Dolph, and probably
He is
on his own.
Harrison.
He was in some.
He's
Now-
ahead of Dolph.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, Chuck's on there.
Yeah.
Chuck's on there with Arnold.
At least people know who he is.
Yes.
that helps.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let me just put it out here. We've got how many names we got there right now? 6.
I mean, come on.
So here we go. Here's my
have,
4.
Like Michael Dudikoff on there.
We need to have some other people to consider.
But I'm gonna say my 4, and then I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna go with Arnold, Sly, Chuck, and Bruce.
So far, that's about where I go.
I think that's a pretty solid list.
I think
that's hard to argue with.
That's pretty much what we have, except for Dolph
Now,
and
what
Harrison,
about
right?
what about?
All right, if you want to talk about some honorable mentions, that's cool.
What about some
let's
martial arts movies? I mean, are we doing kung fu?
I think we should do that as
because we need to talk about Bruce Lee, and we need to talk about.
I think we should do that as a separate one because martial arts is kind of on its own and it's too wide open. You know, I can think of 5, 6 guys.
Yeah, we should probably come back and do a Mount Rushmore of kung fu, or Mount Rushmore of martial arts. I guess.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about some honorable mentions for a moment, or we just want to go with those 4?
We got Harrison Ford. I don't know.
I think those.
I mean,
4,
I'm thinking.
I think
so
no matter how many
Arnold's
people we
on
start
there,
naming,
no question.
those 4 are going to be the ones
Sly,
that win. I think.
Bruce and Chuck.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I mean, that's.
Bruce Willis might have a little trouble staying on if we really got in depth with it, but I'm a big fan of his, or at least his action stuff. So. Yeah.
Well, Seagal. I mean, Seagal.
Yeah, Seagal would be in the discussion, but I don't like him, so I would fight. Bruce Willis is in over him, so.
Van Damme.
Van Damme.
Again,
he's a guy who's all action.
Does he also get into that martial arts category?
You know what? There's that too. Well,
I
same
mean,
ditto Chuck Norris. But they both done shoot 'em up stuff.
Chuck Norris is fair enough too. I'd say missing in action is what saves Chuck Norris.
What I liked Chuck Norris first was missing in action, and I liked it because it was shoot 'em up stuff where he also did, a little bit of martial arts. If you had asked me if we were having this discussion in like 1989, fuck yes, Van Damme's on the list.
Yeah. Seagal too, probably.
No question.
I'd say
Seagal would be like the new kid on the block who was taking the 4th slot, and everybody's like, "Did you see this?
Are you talking about like
did you see Mark for
action
Death?
martial arts?"
I'm talking about
action
as far as their
general.
Those two
stars.
are in it neck to neck. If you're looking at just their bodies of work, not who they are as people. You know what I'm saying? Because Seagal is a shit eater.
No, I got you. I got you.
Take that, Seagal. I hope you're listening too, because it's been said.
Come to St. Robert, Missouri, and see what happens.
Whoop our asses.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and then the phone rang.
Yes.
We have
our
segment.
first caller.
Let's see what happens. Oh, you're not gonna say nothing?
Nah, it was
I
probably
can't use any of that.
It's probably a wrong number. That's fine. You didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's just go ahead and finalize our Mount Rushmore.
So right now, I don't think there's any debate. Honestly,
No.
Arnold, Sly, Bruce, Chuck.
Yeah, I can't come up with anybody else offhand right now.
Yeah. But what's their face look like? Their original face, or from that movie that we're thinking?
Chuck Norris's would be like missing in action era Chuck Norris, I'd say.
With the gi tied around, or the
Bruce, I
headband
guess you'd
tied
probably
around his
go
head?
with John McClane.
Yes.
Like Die Hard 1, Die Hard 2 era.
Sly, I'd almost go with Rambo. Give him the big poof.
Mm-hmm.
Give the big poof.
Yeah, the hockey mullet.
Yeah. And then Arnold
from Predator.
Or Conan.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, Arnold is Conan with long,
as Conan,
flowing.
I remember the
hair.
original Conan. This thing was
That'd be
good.
a trip. I'd say either Predator or Terminator.
Yeah, either one of those.
You
two.
could get away with putting the glasses on him and being like, "Well, it's Terminator." Probably save some carbon.
I'd say the hair from Conan, the Terminator shades, and the commando stripes.
Yes,
on his torso, on his shirtless torso.
Oh wait, so the Mount Rushmore of action stars has torsos. Okay, so then
Full
we need
body.
the John McClane ripped up torso, a t-shirt or a wife beater torso.
That'd be fabulous.
I'm not worried about the torsos, but I do think that it would be important to have the right face.
The right face would be...
As cool as it would be to see Conan Arnold, I really think it should probably be Terminator.
Yeah, with the half face.
Oh, that's a good point. That'd be even cooler.
Like the robot side on one.
On a Mount Rushmore?
With some lights in there. What's up? The red eye. You know what I'm saying? The red eye.
The red eye light that
the
just
peeping red eye that would
stares
just
at you
blink
from the mountain.
What, you threw your phone down because you read something.
I did read something. Okay, Eli Roth is directing the new Death Wish. But the thing that fucking got me is that it also co-stars my long lost, my lifelong crush, Elizabeth Shue, and and also stars Vincent D'Onofrio and Dean Norris, and I'm in. So, but Elizabeth Shue, seriously, that movie is probably awesome.
Yeah, we should do a segment about Elizabeth Shue.
Oh,
I'm not saying we should do it
get
now,
me started.
but we should do one someday. That'll be great.
Speaking of which, hey, seriously, side note, Firstborn. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Elizabeth Shue vehicle, totally slept on, underrated, awesome movie. Just saying, Firstborn.
He's just saying.
Okay.
I think everybody should go watch Twister and look at Helen Hunt.
Hey, just saying. Helen Hunt's alright too.
We did pretty good as far as nailing down the Rushmore aspect.
We got action
I think
stars
we all
down.
pretty much agree on that one. So, what do we got next?
I can see the argument of the women that should go on there.
Well, we're gonna take a short
action star, female action star.
Possibly.
I'd have to think on that one.
Or just any who should go on there.
Any woman?
Just
that's kind of broad.
As far as movie,
the Mount Rushmore of women.
The Mount Rushmore of women
in general.
No, the movie women.
The Mount Rushmore of people. That's a pretty big one, right there.
The top 4 people of all time.
Yeah, the top 4 people of all time. We'll have to get into that someday. Not now, please, not now.
No,
but someday. No, I actually.
What's the top 4 people that should go on Mount Rushmore?
No, of all time.
Of all time?
That's not now. No,
I'll throw one name
now.
on there, and you guys probably kill me. I'll say Whoopi Goldberg.
I'll think on that. I'll think. Hey, she's got an EGOT.
She's an EGOT.
She's got a PGOT. Anyway,
well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here for a second. Listen,
get ready to get into a new segment.
When we come back, how to brighten your house the Quaker way.
Quaker housekeeping. I'll bust into it. All right, it's busted.
Well, I mean, we were talking about toys and collectibles and shit that we had back in the day. I mean, we're all 3 of us pushing 40 here. And
back in the day, it was a long time ago. For those of you who don't like to do math yourself.
So well, I mean, all the shit that's super goddamn
expensive
now, or valuable now. Man, we had it.
We had
my fucking baseball card collection.
My Tonka toys. I had the old school Tonka toys that were made of metal.
Oh, I had a few of those.
I had the dump truck. I had the backhoe. I had the road grader, and I had a bulldozer. Metal ones.
I had the one with the bulldozer and it had the blade, the bulldozer blade. It wasn't a bulldozer, but it had a backhoe with a bulldozer blade.
Yes.
That's the one I had. And I had another one that I can't remember which one.
Solid
I think
metal.
It was a dump truck. I think I had the dump truck.
I had some of the Tonka shit. But I mean, G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
My brother had those.
Okay, I actually do have a lot of my G.I. Joes.
Transformers.
I was a He-Man guy.
Shitload of Transformers was my thing. I had the He-Man.
I did.
I had Mask. I had Mask shit.
I thought those were dope.
They were dope.
They were fucking fresh. I had a few, but not the really cool ones. I had the lame Mask. It was for some reason I could only ever find the lame ones. They were always sold out when I went to go buy masks.
I don't think I ever owned Mask.
Did you ever see the show?
No, probably not.
You know what we're talking about?
I don't think I do.
It was this thing. It was like they were trying to mix G.I. Joe and Transformers, kind of in a way, because it was like you had all these cars that were normal cars, but then they would transform into like battle cars.
Like there was a car.
The main guy had a car with gold wings.
I get the legit. I don't think I ever watched
rockets and shit on.
It was one of those shows.
But I wanted the little. What was the robot's name? They turned it into the scooter.
T-Bob.
T-Bob, he was a scooter, and the little kid fucking rode him around.
It was like having an R2-D2 that you could get on and speed around.
It was an R2-D2, but it was
such an R2-D2
it was
knockoff too.
Anyway, speaking of which, all my Star Wars toys that I had back in the day.
Yeah.
Man, I had I'll tell you another thing I had the bombest ass Garbage Pail Kid collection.
Garbage Pail
on the
kids.
block.
That's awesome.
It was the shit. I had like a binder full of them.
I had the whole series 1, the series 2.
I had full sets. Yes,
the
full
cards,
series,
right? The trading cards.
With the fucking the cards when you flip them over, you had like 8 of them, and it made like a different picture, a big picture.
Oh yeah,
I had all of those.
Enough to do the whole picture.
I had a bunch of them. bunch of them.
Did
full
you stick the
sets.
stickers on shit, or did you just?
Unfortunately, yeah, some of them I stuck in like a sticker book, but I had
Well,
like
if you
full
have,
cards
you know,
though too.
yeah.
But my mom, she fucking killed me, man. She threw them away. I came home from school one day and my Garbage Pail Kids were gone. I was like, Mom, where are my Garbage Pail Kids? And she fucking threw them away. And she was part of that mothers group. Like, she signed the petition of all these mothers to get the Garbage Pail Kids pulled off the shelf. I was so mad. I felt so betrayed. Mom, I love you.
Because she just.
But damn it.
Because she didn't like them.
Because she hated them.
Absolutely,
She
yeah.
hated them.
Did you just have the cards, or did you have
I
like?
can see.
No, I just had the cards.
That's it?
But I also had Cabbage Patch Kids. I had a homemade Cabbage Patch Kid that my grandmother, Gillette, made.
Awesome.
And,
I can see your mom. I know his mom. I can see your mom totally just saying.
Great lady.
These cards
She's
are
a great
so
lady,
awful.
but damn it, man.
Those cards
Yeah.
are just awful.
Well, she listened
What
to
a terrible
problem
thing to
is-
have an interest in.
Look, she listened to all these other groups when they were
And-
talking about this conspiracy shit, these Christian women's groups
Mm-hmm.
that would get together and have all these crazy ass, like they're talking about KISS stands for
Right,
Kids in
there's
Service to Satan.
alarmist stuff, or somebody would come in and do their little seminar about what the
ACDC
new crisis
stands
is.
for Antichrist, Devil's Child. You can't listen to this because it's Satan music. I was like,
Wow,
oh
is
my
that what
god,
it stands for? I never knew that.
fucking crazy. Just listen to this shit and she just believes it. I mean, she's not as gullible nowadays, but back in the day, good lord,
Yeah.
fucking in the 80s, just destroy my whole shit.
Yeah, people
Throw my
act like
Garbage
that sort
Pail
of-
Kids away.
People flip out about stuff nowadays. They flipped out about stuff back then too. They flipped out about everything.
Be a millionaire today with
There's
them
always
Garbage
people
Pail
flipping
Kids.
about stuff.
You think so?
No,
Oh.
but I mean,
You'd be
I'd have a goddamn.
multi-hundred air.
I'd be a nice vacation in Vegas air.
Oh, there you go.
I know that.
Sorry, David's mom.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I would have had all my He-Man, just like your Garbage Pail Kid, they'd be worth a fortune. Same thing with G.I. Joe.
No, it's because you couldn't get your parents to take that seriously. You couldn't. If you'd given them the money then, or in my case anyway, if I had given my parents the money then and been like, see what these are worth? They're worth this. They still would have been like, no, get rid of them. Or whatever.
Most likely.
They wouldn't have cared. They'd have just, I actually told them that a lot of stuff I had was collectible or was going to be collectible, and they always thought I was full of shit.
Oh, yeah. You guys are into Star Wars.
Yeah.
How many Star Wars figures did you guys have back in the day?
I currently have around 60 many of them.
Gotcha. Of the originals? You got the originals?
Some of them are from the very first run, yeah.
Okay.
Not all. Not,
What about you?
I don't know how many I had.
Did you have a good little collection? My brother's
had a
got a hell of
bunch.
a collection, man.
Yeah.
My niece has them still. Like original ones from like the beginning. And
I got shit.
yeah, he's got all this shit. It's crazy. Just the toys, the cartoons. You guys remember Thundercats?
Oh, yeah. I
Watched
didn't really
Thundercats
like
every day.
Thundercats that much.
I watched
it was
them.
alright, but
I think they were on like the
I
same
wasn't
time
like a
with
big
Voltron.
fan.
Yeah.
So I watched Voltron.
Voltron.
I like Voltron a little bit more than Thundercats.
Then I was on the Transformer kick.
Oh yeah, pretty much everybody was on the Transformer kick.
Oh yeah.
You had to have like something very specific against robots or cars to not like Transformers.
It's crazy. Just sit back and think about all those things.
So who had the good cartoon that wasn't just an excuse to sell toys, but was actually worth some shit?
Cartoon wise,
Because they were almost all excuses to sell toys.
very much.
But some of them put more effort into it than others, as far as like trying to make it worth watching. Like, you ever watch GoBots?
Yeah.
The show was terrible. It was dumb. It was like, compared to Transformers, it was like, why even bother?
Really? No, I never watched that one.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It was
bad.
lame. Tried to be Transformers. Wasn't as good.
Really? And then this Power Ranger kick. Did you guys see this Power Ranger kick lately with these kids? Like
Which one?
Power
Yeah,
Rangers,
it's
like
coming
just
back.
recently.
Yeah, it's
like
coming
Power
back.
Rangers come back.
They always say it's coming back, but I mean, like they said that 5 years ago when
And
it came back.
but
They
it
said
made-
that 5 years before. I think it just never really went away.
It hasn't. But
Haven't
and
got
that,
anything
but that was
to
after
market
me.
for a couple of years, and
See,
now they do.
Power Rangers was right after. Like I was at that age when Power Rangers come out. I think you guys were right there at the same thing.
I didn't watch that shit.
Yeah, we didn't watch it.
I was already well.
But
off.
man, I mean, them kids just like man, and I hate to say this word even on the microphone, is Pokemon. That shit
they're
is
obsessive enough
insane.
about it. I'll say this about
Pokemon's
the
nuts.
Pokemons. I don't think that Pokemon even qualifies as a kid's thing, to be honest.
Oh no. Oh,
No.
it's not.
That's the thing that kind of gets
People are
me
into that
about
shit.
bringing that into this conversation. Is that Pokemon is like by far a grown-up thing.
I had guys tell me they wanted to live with them and live like them.
People do live with them. They got little virtual Pokemons that they sit around talking to. I don't know. I don't know much about it. Usually I call it Pokemon just to irritate people. And I'll be like, yeah, I've got a secret level 10 double Fugel Flaster that you don't have. I had to travel to Mexico to get it. They spaz out, it's funny. You should do that shit if you ever run into one of these Pokemon people. Tell them you've got some rare Pokemon that you just made up and some name they've never heard of, and they'll be like, really? How do I get it?
Like the Xbox 720.
Yeah, like the Xbox 720. Available soon.
Check all your local retail.
Eventually it's, hi, welcome to the All Natural Podcast, and I just have a really quick update, like just a tidbit for the both of you. The All Natural Podcast, following our inaugural episode, posted the following question: hot cocoa, milk or water? And we had a few responses, not a lot, but 88% chose milk.
Good.
Oh, well, all right, yeah.
So I think we can put that one to bed for all time.
Put to bed.
So there it is, folks.
88% of people want fucking milk in their hot cocoa. Good for you, people.
You're talking about a mere 1 out of 8 people disagree with that. So, I'm sorry, but I'm sure that accommodations can be made for you.
In any case, yeah.
That's pretty good. So now that we know the superior hot cocoa methodology, perhaps we need to pose a new question then to see what we can do there.
Well, what do you got?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying, should we?
Well, I believe we should.
We should?
I don't see any reason why not.
Well, hot cocoa. We've pretty much covered that one. Let's move into some new territory then. What do you got?
What's the new territory?
Good question. That is my suggestion for the next one. What is the new territory? I'm not hearing a lot of popular support for that one.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing any alternatives either. We may have to put that up. The only hard part is, does it have to be a poll? Is that what the question is?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, what do you got? PlayStation or Xbox? Where do you fall?
That's too basic. On the other hand,
well,
that's
honestly,
get
I fall with the PlayStation, but with this new Xbox X coming out,
well, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
So I would totally.
Special.
Okay, so maybe we should do an Xbox versus PlayStation, and then come back later on and review the initial.
What we need to do is Xbox One X versus PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right.
That's what we need to do.
That's what I'm saying. Do it now, and then come back and see how your prognostications were.
The Pro is pretty nice. Just saying.
Is the Pro 4K?
Yes.
See, so we actually got to wait till we get a 4K TV to put it on.
A true 4K TV.
A true 4K.
Yeah.
So.
Bargain basement bullshit we got right here. Abort!
Silence
Abort!
is deadly.
Bail out!
Run away!
Run away!
Is it recording?
Yeah, actually.
So we can just jump into whatever, because he's going to delete all this shit anyways. So we're going to bust out with this, what we're talking about. So, one thing I don't understand nowadays is everybody's abbreviating everything with this text lingo. I didn't understand this shit, man, back in 2009 is when I first learned about this LOL and this LMAO shit.
Here's,
you kids in your LOLs.
Yeah.
We're
youngins.
We're all pushing 40 here again. I know we've mentioned it before.
I'm really pushing it right
If it's right around the fucking corner. But
I got 2 years.
So we're Generation Xers.
I'm a youngster.
Right?
Generation Xers trying to adapt, trying to keep up with technology. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have internet.
I didn't realize how much I look at my phone.
Oh, it's crazy.
My cousin called me out when I was in Maui.
Thing.
My cousin called me out in Maui, and you know what? I was like, fuck yeah, I am. She's like, are you always on the phone? Yes, I am. I'm always on this thing. You know what? That's what I do. And I'm on this motherfucker all the time. Looking at something, whether it's the same thing, the same app, same something, I'm looking at something. All the time on my phone.
I'm actually not, but it's because I try to use my phone as a phone. And
it's not a phone. And that's
I'm on my computer all the time. So
I'll tell you this.
You live in the
I just do it
caveman days. He's got the shit accessible on his phone, and this dude's running his shit in black and white so you don't save his battery. You know, he's in the fucking caveman days, so get that
charges,
shit.
Mind you.
That's all right, but it's right there. It's in your hands. Everything you need is in your hands. Right there, you can look it up. Whatever you want to know, it's right fucking there.
Well, I'm not very fond of typing with my thumb either.
The thing that's crazy, I think
no, I don't use TextSpeak, so it takes me a lot longer to say everything because I'm always typing in proper English. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just saying, I think that we're right at the age where it was the wave of technology was right behind us as we were coming out of high school. Because my brother, who's only 3 years younger than me, was way ahead of this shit than I was.
Oh, you
know what I'm saying?
Onto it
he was
earlier?
way ahead of it. Yeah, he was on a computer. He was on the computer though. He's like one of the the time anyway. One of these
when
PC
did you get
guys.
Into computers or whatever.
Huh?
I mean, did you?
Me, I wasn't. I mean, he had to.
Have a
He's
point
the
where you
like
were
he would. He would say
I'll
like if
do
we're
that.
emailing to each other, email back in the day, like way back in the Stone Age, email. He would say things like LOL or LMAO, and he'd have to explain it to me. Because I'd be like LMAO question mark.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, like, as far as becoming as a culture, we kind of became like a computer or internet based culture.
It's how it is, man.
He was on it way before I was, is what I'm saying, and he's not that much younger than I am.
That's where I am, but I didn't know about this shit because I never fucked with it. And then learning this stuff is like, okay.
I remember back in even the 90s, I would see the little colon with the parentheses. And I would see that all over the place. And I thought that was something that happened when the computer made a mistake with the text that you were trying to read on the internet. And it threw that in to let you know there was there was something wrong there.
So
it took me like 10 solid years at least to understand that was supposed to be a picture of a smiley face turned on its side.
That's what I'm saying. That's another thing that my brother had to explain to me because I didn't understand. He's like, look at it kind of sideways. It's like a smiley face.
We'll see.
If you want,
I've seen that before.
Okay, so date this back further than your brother and this. It was actually back with us, back whenever they had pagers. You could send messages through pagers with phone numbers, like Morse code.
Oh, pagers, yeah.
Turn it upside down. So we were actually using that shit prior to it coming up. We had it, but we just didn't accept where it went.
To send messages with pagers. People would work out their own little code.
Exactly. So you were technically, this stuff dates back so far. We don't know back with Morse code how much stuff did they when they were spelling stuff out with Morse code. How is it read out? Like you had certain beats, right? Like tap 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 to tap 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 tap, and it meant something, correct?
I guess I don't really remember.
I don't know
many people doing that.
What Morse?
No, not Morse code.
Back in the day with Morse code.
Actually,
for the record,
in Morse code.
For the record, we're not that old.
No, we're not that old. But what I'm saying is this lingo has started back then because in Morse code you weren't spelling.
I mean, we weren't doing Morse code. We didn't come up doing Morse code.
Yeah,
pages,
I'm just talking about we're talking. No, I'm talking about technology.
Okay, well, I mean, okay.
I'm talking about with technology. It dates back to Morse code. Whenever they were spelling out in Morse code, did they spell like all words? Like when they were tapping, like what were they? You were trying to get what the tap was, right? A certain tap meant a letter, correct?
Yeah. If it was a telegram, yes, they would spell out the whole word, but they would cut the words out of the sentence. So instead of saying things like, Carol had a baby today, it would just say Carol had baby.
Okay, but that would be like certain taps would be this. So they broke it down in lingo, and as further as we got further, we broke it down with us with pagers and shit like that, and then now with the computer going down with laugh out loud saying LOL or fucking I don't know being IDK. We're just breaking it down in shorter terms because people in their span of looking at their phone, they're glancing at it and done. You ain't got time to read full paragraphs because they're wanting to blow and go.
Yeah, let's not forget that the average attention span now it makes ADD from the 80s look ridiculous.
Oh, you have to be able to look at it while you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Don't text and drive, folks.
Yeah,
don't
fucking
text and drive.
I don't even know why. Like, that's a funny joke and shit. I'm glad you made the joke.
Don't text and drive.
But
anyways,
in real life.
So, but it's just the way it is. And like you said, I didn't understand what the colon mark with the fucking half moon.
with the
it took a minute to be like, what the fuck are they doing?
Is that all over the internet?
But then they started doing stuff where you'd put like a 3 and then a P. And it'd be like somebody. It would mean. They said that stupid fucking frog. Android had this.
All kinds of shit.
You'd have this little emoji, this little thing pop up. Not an emoji, but a little frog would pop up with the little face, like the tongue sticking out or some shit.
I think that's an emoji.
Then that would be the original emoji.
An emoticon.
Oh,
would that be the original one?
The original one, I would say, emoji. I think emoji means when it's a picture. Emoticon just means when it's.
Okay, you think that's the original
emoticon?
One
would probably be the colon with the parentheses.
So that would be the original, and then it would go to the.
That's the one I remember looking at first and going, "What the fuck is wrong with everybody on the internet? This always happens."
But then, you're exactly right. Then with emojis took over, and people are spelling shit out.
When
I went
LOL
golfing
happened,
instead of spelling golfing, you put a fucking golfer up there or a fucking smiley face or this or that. So it's changed to fucking looking at pictures.
When LOL,
it's gone back to hieroglyphics.
Right? Huh?
It's gone back to hieroglyphics.
Now check this out. When LOL happened, I figured out by context what it was. Because people would type it after somebody said something really funny, right? So I was like, oh, it must have something to do with people being really funny. So I took that as somebody had told me about the smiley face thing. I took that as a guy throwing his arms up in the air because he was laughing. Like, that was so funny, I was throwing my arms up in the air, and now I'm going to draw this LOL little picture of it. And then somebody was, like, laughing out loud. And I was like, oh, okay. And, yeah, all the other ones, like, as soon as I figured that out, basically the other ones, as soon as I see them, I just take a few seconds to be like, okay, what's that stupid abbreviation mean? KYS, let's see. I wonder what it could possibly be,
It's insane. The way everything went and how it is. But you're right. We are back to hieroglyphics.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it started, right?
Of hieroglyphics.
That's where it started?
No.
It started here's a question. Is there an app that you can do traditional hieroglyphics with? I mean, surely there is. Somebody's already got that, right? If nobody has that already, I'm claiming it now.
I can easily make you one right now
already.
that would be fake. But if you wanted one that was like actually translatable to ancient Egyptian...
No, man. It needs to be.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But I could do a fake one right now, real easy.
Somebody needs to
just turn all the symbols into a font, and
somebody needs to get on that. I'm sure it's already been done. If not, I want it. I claim it. Right now.
Yeah. Why not?
Pay me money for that, people.
We're just
somebody make it. Somebody make it. I'll give you permission. But you need to write me at allnaturaldavid@gmail.com. You guys recording yet?
No, I should have.
How are we starting this? Like, are we?
However you want it.
Just worst job ever. That's what That's what we're doing here. My worst job was a telemarketer.
Ooh, that's a nasty one.
It really was. I don't know. I was trying to say you were selling vacation packages to people. And you had to hit like a quota and all this other shit. Or else you had to stay late and you couldn't get a break until you sold one and you had to like hand this shit off. But you had to get the people on the phone. And when you have kids answering the phone and you're asking for the parent and you hear the parent in the background tell them we're not here. And the kid goes, they're not here. Well, is there a better time for me to reach them? Tell them to fuck off. Fuck off. You got a fucking little kid sitting there telling you to fuck off. Or telling you to go drown yourself, or go kill yourself, man. You just want to reach through the phone and grab them and smack their parents. Probably the worst job I ever had.
That's pretty much the same that I was gonna pick, telemarketer.
Yeah.
The same bullshit, exactly like you're describing. Very irritating job, bothering the fuck out of everybody. I had the misfortune of working my fucking lame ass telemarketer job the day after 9/11, and ended up calling somebody who was trying to find out about somebody, their family or something. I was like, that's the last fucking straw. I'm not coming back to this damn joint. And I didn't come in the next day and they fired me, and I was like, good.
I did telesurveys.
I did that too. It was much easier than telemarketing, I'll tell you that.
Telesurveys sucked. That job was horrible. Sat in a cubicle for 6 fucking hours. Not allowed to look around.
The
Not allowed to
thing
fucking
is, though,
doodle.
there's no...
Fuck all that.
Doing what?
It's so boring.
It's a different... It is extremely boring.
Telesurveys?
Telesurveys.
Fuck that, man.
No,
sucks.
that's the thing. It's an extremely... like I said, I did the same job. I actually did it a lot longer than David did. I probably did it a couple of years, I think.
I quit twice.
Yeah, so did I. The thing about it, that job, is that it's extremely boring, and you have to be able to handle boredom well. But if you can handle just being... You're basically being paid to be bored. If you can do that, it's the easiest job in the universe. You just sit there being bored. But they pay you for it. So it's not so bad. But you're not having to hunt down in the same way. You're not having to chase money like a telemarketer. So you're not being a real scumbag. In fact, a lot of the surveys that I did paid people. So I didn't think that surveys was that bad. It was bad for the boredom.
I've had a lot of shitty jobs, though. I mean, like telesurvey, that is not the worst fucking job I ever had. No. Not by a long shot. No? Hell no. I've worked in a sawmill. That was some bust-ass work. Let me tell you something about myself, people. I'm simply not built for manual labor. I'm just not. I mean, you wouldn't know it to look at me, but I'm 6'1", I'm 250. I hate manual labor. I do not like doing it, period. So anything that's like outdoors or heavy lifting, like repeated heavy lifting, not into it. I don't enjoy working out. I don't enjoy exercising. I enjoy sitting on the fucking couch. That is what I like to do. And I do it as often as I can. To see me working in a fucking sawmill. I'm just saying. That's how it is. I'm trying to be real. So
let's face it, that's pretty much what we all would do if we really could. I mean,
I'm just
there's
saying.
nobody out there who would.
No, there's a lot of people who are naturally active,
that's
and
true.
they go out and they run all the time and they fucking exercise
they refuse to lounge.
Whatever the fuck.
That's the box.
Or they do like the fucking.
I don't go run.
They do the rough work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. People who do fucking, like, in the military or whatever, go to get out there and work out every fucking day at 5 in the morning.
Definitely,
you know what I'm saying?
Can't lounge. They're incapable of taking.
That's what I'm saying. It's just not me. It's not me. That's like the number one reason I didn't enlist is because I do not want to get up and fucking have a physical fitness standard that I have to meet. It's just that simple. The patriotism is there. The wanting to help my fellow man and do shit for my own country. It's all there. It's just the fact that I do not want to run. I do not want to do push-ups and sit-ups and shit. It's just that simple. So I'm working in a sawmill, and I'm busting my ass. And I lasted, I think, 2.5 days. I made it the first day, and I got up the second day, and I was more sore than I had ever been in my entire life. I did not last very long on that job, but by far the shittiest thing I ever did was ride the back of a trash truck. Yeah, it was fucking horrible, and I didn't do that very long either. And I have my boy Marv to thank for that. He was working for the trash company, and his stepdad worked for the trash company, and he was like, that's who I would get stuck with. Marv would come and knock on my door at like 6 o'clock in the fucking morning, and say, hey man, we're down a man. You can make a quick day's pay, and he'd shoot some fucking number that would make it worth me getting my ass out of bed, and I would end up stuck with his fucking stepdad, who drove the truck, and his stepdad is like 5 feet tall or so, but he's built like a fucking anvil, and he was crazy energetic. He would like jump down out of the truck and run to the back and fucking pick up the trash can and fucking throw it in the back and then run back up into the fucking cab and jump up there and drive to the next fucking stop and jump back down. Dude was fucking crazy. Marv would stick me with him on purpose because he knows this. He'd go with whatever fucking pothead dude was working and his buddy, and they would just get stoned all day and earn like a good 8 hours pay. You know what I'm saying? Me, I got stuck with his dad, and we would do an 8-hour job in about 3 hours. So I would bust my ass in the cold-ass rain. I'm talking like 20, 28 degrees, and it's raining like ice and shit on you. On the back of this truck, freezing my fucking ass off, busting my ass, and I would like go home with like $30 in my pocket. Like it would be done by like 1 in the afternoon, but it would be the most work I would do all year. It was fucking ridiculous. And when he did this to me maybe 4 or 5 times, and I'm fucking done. I would never fucking take that job again. By far, worst job ever.
Definitely. And if I could add something, folks, that he's not even bringing up, and I've never ridden the back of a fucking garbage truck, but I've been around it, and hopper water.
Oh,
the fucking inside
garbage
of a garbage truck.
Fucking
you don't really smell it when you're standing in your yard. You think you smell it.
No, you don't.
You don't smell it
when
you're right next to it. You don't think you smell a garbage truck when you're right next to it.
No. Oh, you don't get the
when
full
you're
effect.
Standing right there in the door. You fucking smell what they call hopper water, and it's the most foul, horrible smell in all of existence.
It's the worst fucking thing ever. It's the most foul shit.
It's permanent rot.
Fuck yeah!
You just refresh it with fresh garbage every day.
And when you're done with your trash route, you take the trash down to the fucking sanitation department and drop it off. At the dump
even
or whatever.
then, though, I mean, like you can only get so far with a fucking garbage truck.
But in our little town here, where we live in the middle of Missouri, the dump is not an outdoor place like you might picture. No, it's a big building with walls that you go inside to drop the trash off. And it is the most foul place in all of mid-Missouri.
It is further collected there and then taken away. It's a transfer station.
But you get to go in there where there's a gigantic mountain of
pretty much
of garbage.
Just garbage.
And this hopper water is forever pooled in the ground.
Yeah.
And there's no escaping it, and it's indoors, and it's fucking. It's like you step in there and you're gonna smell like that place for like a day until you like shower twice, like no matter what, just walking through it.
That's how it is.
And I'll tell you a funny story. Box is helping me out. We're taking some trash down there. He's having some problems with
motherfucker, my truck.
He's having some problems with his truck. And we get down there, and we had his bed was full of trash and shit, and we park in the middle of that. So what they have this setup is to try and give you a picture. There's like a big open barn door on one side and a big open barn door far on the other side. So it's like a huge, humongous pole barn where they have like a hole sunk in the ground where a truck and a trailer backs up, and they have a what do you call it?
A semi truck back up in there.
No, what's the
a trailer, fifth wheel, front loader.
The thing that they scrape it into.
The front loader.
The front loader. They have a front loader that scrapes all this shit and pushes it until the trailer's full, and then a 18-wheeler or a semi backs up and hitches itself and pulls the shit out. So in between trucks, garbage trucks and personal trucks that go down there to drop trash off, the front loader comes in, scrapes off whatever the fuck just got dumped off, and moves out of the way, and then the next person comes up. So we get in there, we park the truck, we jump into the back of the bed, and we're throwing trash out the back. When we get back in, his transmission freezes up, and he can't get it into gear. And so we're stuck there. And the only way to fix it was a motherfucker had to get a cardboard box and lay it down underneath his truck, which could not be moved, and over the fucking hopper juice in the puddle of the muck and the most disgusting, 2 inches thick mush that lines the bottom of this this thing, and actually manually put the truck into gear so that we could drive out of there.
Yes.
It was.
I laid on a fucking cardboard box, reached my hand up by the transmission, had you put the son of a bitch in. I had to
put the brake on. Put the brake on.
Until I got out from underneath it.
Yeah. The one place on earth that you do not want to lay down in.
No.
And I have to
seriously.
stretch boxes out, and I'm a big person. And back then I was big. 6'3", 400 fucking pounds.
How tall are you now?
6'3". I ain't grown.
Sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. Continue.
So to sum up, riding the back of a trash truck sucks ass, and so does doing telemarketing. Well, when we come back,
we'll talk about cheery shit instead of this.
Should you kiss on the first date? Our answers might surprise you,
or
not.
They might shock you.
That's great.
Hey, that's good. You should save that. Like, you should use that as your catchphrase. But the All Natural podcast continues.
So who doing?
So welcome back. We're thinking De Niro versus Pacino. Who wins? Why? How are we solving this? Is it?
This is De Niro versus Pacino in a fist fight here. Or
we're gonna say in their prime.
In a fist fight.
In a fist fight, hand to hand, or
not like in the ring or something.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if we're going from different movie characters in their prime, I'm thinking Neil McCauley versus Scarface. In which case, they have to be using guns.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So wait, like, if
I'm thinking, are we using Al Pacino or Scarface?
Doing battle in the streets like that?
Yeah, I'd say like tactical.
Give each
Neil
of them,
McCauley from Heat.
Each of them gets a rifle and a full load.
And tactical vests and automatic weapon of their choice. I mean, obviously, Pacino's out there with his little friend.
Well, yeah, they both had Armalites.
So they're good, right?
So we have a stalemate there.
Wait.
I don't know about stalemate.
This?
I'd say
Pacino didn't have a vest. Scarface didn't have a vest, but he did have a grenade launcher. So how about that? To make it a little unbalanced and challenging, De Niro's got a vest, but Pacino has a grenade launcher with a single grenade in it. There you go. Now
Macaulay's got the edge because Scarface is coked out. Obviously.
Oh, that's a good.
He's out of his
I
mind.
didn't even think about that actually.
Okay.
He's inebriated.
All right.
Okay.
So
That's a really good point.
Right?
It might help him.
Maybe that's his superpower.
According to the end of Scarface,
why
it
he
helped him
goes
tremendously because suddenly he was able to hit moving targets firing from the hip.
There you go. But still, Macaulay's going to be
But yeah, I would say
bobbing and weaving in his right mind.
I was going to say Macaulay because he already lives his entire life on a tactical level. You know, every moment of his life he's thinking,
he's going to be 3 steps
where do I
ahead
go?
of,
Who do I shoot? You know, how do I get from here to
gonna be
there?
3
All that
steps
shit.
ahead of
Right,
Scarface
yeah. So
all the time.
Scarface is very impulsive. Tony Montana's just going to be like running down the streets, blazing away at him. Screaming shit. You think Tony Montana might have a chance? I mean, given that he's got a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
He might just
I'm
say,
going
hey,
Tony
say hello to
Montana.
my little friend, and that's that.
I'm going Tony Montana.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's 2-1.
All
All right. Well, yeah, I'd say join us next time on
who would win in a fight.
Who Wins.
That's great.
Well, I think that we're going to stick with the Pacino versus De Niro theme a little bit here and go young Michael Corleone versus young Vito Corleone, of course played by De Niro in part 2.
Pacino versus De Niro, the Godfather edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. My first thought was, well, okay, young Vito has a certain ruthlessness to him. They're both obviously very cold-blooded people who have people killed like it ain't shit. You know, they're murderers. But I was like, well, young Vito's probably a little more ruthless. But then the next thing I thought was, well, wait a minute, because Michael Corleone is not only a Marine, but a World War II combat veteran.
That's true.
He's seen some
true.
shit.
That's true.
So on top of his growing up mafia, which also, don't forget, Vito did not do that. He did not grow up mafia. He was a criminal after he already started a family.
Yeah, but he saw
he was around, sure. Don't get me wrong, but like Michael was in it from birth.
But he saw his mom blown away, right?
Right.
At a young age and had to flee.
True.
I mean, he was already on it.
I mean, that's not the same as being the son of the guy who runs crime in your side of town.
Yeah.
But mainly it's the fact that he survived World War II, as a Marine, was probably on like Guadalcanal or someplace and had a hell of a lot of bullshit fucking war to deal with before he came back home and had both bullshit, mafia killer stuff to deal with.
Yeah, but all he did was kill somebody and then go run and hide.
That is true.
Came back a mafia hero.
That's true. Well, if you think about it, though. I mean,
Box, where you land on this?
I'd have to go with almost like what you're saying.
De Niro or Pacino?
I'd probably go with De Niro.
Young Vito?
Yeah.
So that's 2-1. And, because, you're going with Michael, right?
I think I am, yeah. I'm going to stick with Michael. Vito's certainly got his points. It'd be an interesting fight to watch. What are they just like shooting it out in a hotel or something? It
Yeah.
would depend a lot on
Yeah.
the circumstances, you know. It's like because both of them, the tactic they would be like, oh, well, no problem, I gotta ambush him. So they're both, it'd be like spy versus spy. They're trying to figure out who can ambush the other one first. Except they're always looking out for it. So you know, it would be really entertaining to watch. But I can't imagine like how would one get the drop on the other.
All right, here's what would happen. Okay,
Yeah.
According to the rules, they would both sit and eat a dinner at the same table. Right, and halfway through
and
the
they
table,
try to talk it out or whatever. A lot of double meanings
they
and
would,
shit.
They would both.
would. You know they would.
would
They'd
both
talk it
excuse themselves
At the
and
same
at
time.
the same time, and they would both go to different bathrooms at opposite ends of the bar or restaurant with a bar in it, obviously. And then where they
will
would
retrieve their hideouts.
reappear at opposite ends of the bar, pistol in hand,
And then it's on.
fight ensues.
I
I probably
I don't know how
have to
that
go with
would go
Michael.
down.
I may
I
have to
think I
go with
would-
Michael
yeah,
just
I'd
because
stay
he's
with
got
Michael.
the
He-
military training.
Right, yeah, he'd probably.
That may be
Like,
the edge. That
Vito
may
would
be what
probably
gives him
come
the
out of
edge.
the thing with his pistol up, ready to go or whatever, but Michael would dive to the floor and kind of roll around the corner, you know, or something
and
like
then get
that.
a nice clear shot.
Right, yeah, something would happen.
It may be Michael.
don't know.
It may be Pacino may have the upper hand.
That's pretty good, though. We should propose that for some kind of alternate universe.
Yeah,
God,
they need CG.
When they do the reboot, they'll put us in charge, and we'll get a couple of young stars to play young Michael and young Vito at the same time, and
Yeah,
they
in
will
the
kill
same
each
scene.
other in
They'll kill each
the
other.
final
It'd be great.
shootout. It'll be so great. They'll have a love triangle with the same woman. It'll be really awkward.
And it'll be their cousin.
Yeah, it'll be Sophia. It'll be fucking Sophia, and everybody will be creeped out long before you get to see the cool ending. So there you go. That's pretty bad. The sad thing is, Hollywood's probably trying to make a Godfather reboot right now that's much worse.
It's a Scarface reboot, actually.
Huh?
It's a Scarface reboot.
They're doing a Scarface reboot too? They're always trying to reboot Godfather. They're always trying to reboot. They're always trying to reboot everything. Damn you, Hollywood.
You and your
Oh,
rebooting.
was that the dinner bell to tell me that it's time to end the segment?
Bam.
Bam. Bam. Wait a minute. Thud. Kaboom. It was a dark and stormy recording area.
Welcome back to the All Natural Podcast. Would you rather crap your pants in public once a year for the rest of your life, or crap yourself in private every day for the rest of your life?
In public.
That's too easy, right? I
Wait,
do it
what? Once a year for the rest of your life?
in public,
Versus every day for the rest of your life.
in private.
I suppose I'd take the public one. Seems like
In
a lot
public,
less of a
I'd make
hassle.
it an event.
Yeah, everybody
Aaron's-
knows it's gonna happen.
Aaron's
You might as
annual-
well just be like, look, I have to do it once a year. You might as well come
Annual
see it.
shit.
The shit party.
David's annual
Hold on, wait,
shit
wait.
in public.
Rewind about
I'd
30
call
seconds.
I'd make it an event. I'd call it David's annual shit out in public.
Or once a year, since you have to do it anyway, you might
Fucking
as well just let everybody
fucking
know
2017. Come watch
have a
me shit
party.
in public.
and have a party.
And probably have like a public shitting party. After party.
I'm like, you're the star of the
After-
show. The
after
least
party.
they could do is bring you, a couple of brews or something, and a cheeseburger. How do you shit yourself in public
Have a
anyway?
barbecue.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Huh?
How do you shit yourself in public anyway?
I don't know.
Like most situations, unless you're like wearing some exceedingly thin clothes, you could shit and you probably have enough time to run off and, do something about it before everybody figured it out. So I guess like this is a case of everybody just has to know. Still, shitting in public once a year is a lot better than having to deal with it every single day. I mean, I guess you would just wear diapers, right? Why the fuck wouldn't you? There's people who live with that condition now. So,
Yeah, that's another dumb one.
let's do it.
All Natural Podcast, live and in effect. figured we would have a little story time. Tell you about the time that Scruff and I we wandered off and tried to find the Rainbow Festival. Which, give you a little background, the Rainbow, is that still a thing?
I don't think so.
Rainbow Festival used to be like a traveling music festival. It was kind of like a hippie dippy type of thing.
Was it a music festival? They had music.
Yeah,
I don't even
bands.
know.
Yeah,
I really don't know much about the thing.
It was a mythical thing that Scruff's sister and our friend used to tell us about. They had been, I guess, if we're taking them at their word, they'd been to one or two.
I think they went to a couple of them. Yeah.
And
they kept coming back with these wonderful stories of how awesome it was.
We were in it for the drugs. We'll be honest. There was lore.
That was certainly the part that caught our attention.
It was rumored to be lots of drugs floating around.
Like essentially, you just sort of walk in and everybody hands you a bunch of drugs or whatever, and it's a big.
So we were after that
party in the woods or something.
Rumor had
kind of like a super rave, I guess.
For those of you that don't know, we're located in mid-Missouri, and rumor had it that the Rainbow Festival was going to be in southern Illinois for the weekend. Don't know exactly where.
I believe it was Carbondale or somewhere near Carbondale.
We didn't know. All we knew was southern Illinois. That's all we had to go on.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what we hit the road with.
All I know is that we know the entire Carbondale area and basically all of Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois. Is it Southern Illinois? Southern Illinois. We know that whole area pretty well now because of this trip.
And apparently, what year was this? I mean, we were
98.
We were 20
latest,
maybe 20, 21,
21 something.
Nothing better to do that weekend. Apparently, I don't remember if we had jobs.
We might have had jobs. I don't know, but this was something we did all the time back then. We used to take a lot of road trips to nowhere. So at least this one had a road trip to something.
Anyway,
we just didn't know
where we hit the road
when we got there
on a midday Friday. Saturday. It was only one night, right? Anyway,
it seems like it was pretty much
yeah. We hit the road for Southern Illinois looking for the Rainbow Festival, and we ended up. Where did we go? Was it Carbondale? Was the town that we went to?
Carbondale was the city we kept coming back to as like the central point.
Anyway, we were just asking random people on the street.
Eventually, yeah. There were signs up. There would be these doofy little signs that they were like. 4 foot by 4 foot signs that somebody had clearly hand drawn, but it said, Rainbow Festival is, 35 miles, and it wouldn't tell you anything else than that, And we'd see that and be like, oh shit, we are in the right place, and then 35 miles later, nothing.
We asked, there was a festival of some sort going on in whatever small town.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we pulled into some small town and they're having their farmers market day or some crazy shit.
Some shit.
It wasn't like that. It was like some sort of town pride festival parade thing. And yeah, we couldn't even.
We had to take
detours just to get around the town because they were having.
And this one guy was like,
street.
This one guy was real into. He was like, man, Rainbow Festival. Yeah. I tell you what you need to do. You need to go to the next town over. And you need to find Chuck. Find Chuck, because Chuck will know where the Rainbow Festival is. If anybody knows, go find Chuck. And we're like, well, how do we find Chuck? He's like, oh, you won't have any problem finding Chuck. Just drive on the main street. You'll see Chuck, and Chuck will tell you. And so we went to the next town over looking for Chuck, and we never found Chuck.
I don't think we really took that one seriously. We did get a lot of advice like that. Great. People were just like, oh, no, I don't know, but so-and-so would know. You should ask them. And I'm like, you don't live here, guy.
At the end of it, we never did find Chuck. Chuck never appeared and showed us the way. But we were pulling into...
Chuck.
Chuck was a lie. That's the deal.
The Chuck was a lie.
But we pulled into... After dark, we pulled into some dead-end dirt road, and there was a house there with a porch light on. And this kid standing in the porch light. This kid was 15 or 16 years old. And we called to him from the road and we said, hey, we're looking for the Rainbow Festival. And he came down. And this kid just happened to be standing on the porch, which I believe was probably a nightly ritual, wishing that something would happen in this
something will
dumbass
happen
town
tonight. I know it.
No, this dude was looking at you two like you two are looking for the Rainbow Festival.
And he jumped in the back seat and fucking took us to where he figured it probably would be, which was some
Fairyland.
no, it was some forest preserve.
Yeah, right.
And,
this is another thing I barely remember. I was like, I
and
remember picking somebody up at some point, and it was
straight up
it was a
talked with
total
him.
waste of time. But
And he was just
and
like, man,
we
you don't
drove
know
to,
how
like, a fucking
you don't know
RV park
how
or
excited
something.
he was to be
And he
leading
was-
us
he
into
was
the middle of
basically
nowhere.
happy to be off of the out of his
happy
lawn.
to be doing something. And he also did not know where the Rainbow Festival was and led us into nowhere. And we drove around with him for an hour or so and
What
then
did
dropped
we do
him
with
back
him?
off
Did
at
we
his
took him
house.
back? Okay,
Yeah.
I guess we just took him back.
He wished us luck,
Yeah.
and we were on our way. And
Now, the audience will notice that I, Scruffy over here, have not been remembering much of this stuff too keenly. And the truth is, I don't remember a lot of it too keenly. But the part that I do remember very keenly is a part that David Waverly is saying that he doesn't remember that well, which is toward the end of this little adventure, before we decided to leave Illinois, but somewhere toward the end, we said, all right, wait a minute, we're in the wrong spot kind of thing, and we did a U-turn, and then we said, wait a minute, no, wait, that was the spot. Now let's just pull into this gas station or kind of thing, you know, and it was like we did 2 U-turns in a row and pulled into a gas station or something. And immediately this
You guys
fucking
did 2
cop...
U-turns in a row. So you guys did a circle.
More or less. Yeah,
Okay.
it was like, turn around. Oh, no, wait a minute. Turn around. You know what? Let's just stop. That kind of thing, right? And so in comes this cop zipping up right behind us, stops, throws his lights on, and gets us out the car like we're felons. It wasn't a felony stop, but he was pretty much treating us like we were about to bolt. After about 5 minutes, he finally comes up and talks to us, and he's like, well, this car is stolen. And I was like, no, this is I said, look, Missouri plates. And he looked at the plates and kind of did a double take, and I'm pretty sure he ran our plates as Illinois plates is what happened. Because I saw it in his face. He looked at our plates, and it was just like, oh, shit! And I was like, no, this is a Missouri plates, Missouri car. My car's not stolen. This is my car. You're lying to me, basically is what I said to him. And the guy goes back to his car, and, you know, long story short, you know, they tried to hassle us a little bit, but not really. And after wasting as much of his time, or much of our time as he could, the guy came back and was like, oh, yeah, your car's clean. Sorry about that, or something. I don't think he said sorry. But I do distinctly remember David asking him where the Rainbow Festival was. Because, I mean, fuck, the cop would know, right? He's like, so yeah, we're trying to get to the Rainbow. I don't think you said anything like we're trying to go get some drugs, but you basically did. It, like the way you put it, it was basically like, well, now that you're done fucking with me, I'm going to fuck with you. We're trying to go to the Rainbow Festival and get high. Do you know where it is? Or something like that. It wasn't that bad, but it was basically, yeah, they knew what was up instantly. And I forget what they said too, but it was some jerk off shit, kind of like Fine Chuck. You know, it was like, oh, it's down that away kind of thing, knowing damn well that it wasn't.
I do not recall any of that.
And yeah, David Waverly remembers like none of this shit for some reason.
I took when Pete tells me stories, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The only
It doesn't
reason I
make
can
no
figure
sense.
that you wouldn't remember any of this is because that was the kind of thing that happened to us pretty much all the fucking time in those days. We had cops just pull us out the car, stand there and fucking waste our time jerking us off while they ran our fucking licenses 3 times in a row and then let us go. And that happened to us like about once a week, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Certainly more than monthly.
You know, at the end of the day, we decided to head back to Missouri. No fucking Rainbow Festival.
Yeah, that was kind of... That was enough of a downer. And we were like, all right, we're pushing our luck here.
It's not about the
We should just...
it's not about the destination.
Yeah,
it's about the journey.
It's about the journey. And
Son of a bitch, man, that's funny stuff.
and then
So fucking funny.
and then undoing the journey that you just did.
Yeah.
So that's the
We-
story of our
that's the
trip to
story
the
of the
Shaggy
weekend.
Dog Festival. I mean the Rainbow Festival.
The fucking weekend we spent in
It was
Southern
a long
Illinois.
time. It was like we were up there.
shit.
We must have left early in the day or something because we were up there for like fucking over 12 hours, fucking around, driving in circles, stopping at every stupid campground and festival stage that we saw.
I've spent better weekends.
I have spent better weekends than that. I've spent worse weekends than that.
That's
Because the
true.
cool thing was, it wasn't like we had any obligations. We didn't have anything to do. we didn't blow off work to do this or anything. I mean, it was just like in the end, all we would have done if we hadn't gone on this trip is hang around at home and crack jokes about stuff. So I mean, it wasn't like that bad. It was just a lame experience, given what we were led to expect.
Yeah, and that's the story of our Rainbow Festival that never happened. Keep it natural.
The end.